Drills Talk, episode 10. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 5 methods to making it in your chosen industry. This is based off of a blog I wrote a year back entitled, Is It Who You Know or Who Knows You? Before we start, please subscribe, please like, please comment if you have anything to, say about this video. Let's get right into it. Number one is study the industry. Whatever your chosen industry is, whatever that industry may be, how far can you go back? Go back that far. In music, in my case, probably back to the 20s. You can hear, a couple of live performances that have been put on albums and see how the music was made then, what the album covers looked like, if there were any album covers, what type of album was it? Was it a big single? Was it a total album? How did they release music? Who were the big labels? Who were the big artists? How they make money? All that stuff. What type of venues did they play at? Was it all small venues? What was the biggest place that they can perform at? I know now we have 18, 20,000, 50,000, seat places. I don't believe that those places existed then. So, how much or how hard did those artists back then have to work? Did they have to perform twice a night? Did they have to perform 3 times a night, 300 nights a year to make the kind of money, and of course it's all relative because the money's not worth what it was then. But, what was the game and how they play it? And can I take any of that and play it the way they played it now? And can that help me? Absolutely it can, but not if I don't know. I can't jump into an industry and just have the idea that I'm going to be successful with no knowledge of it, no knowledge of the history, no knowledge of how things worked or how things are working. That's just, a disaster waiting to happen. So know your industry. How can you know a little more? Well, you can, read, you can listen to videos, you can listen to people talk about the industry. You can, go somewhere if you're doing something where you're selling a product. You can go somewhere else where they're selling the same product. You can talk to the people there. You can see the ambiance. You can see how they package their, whatever they're packaging, whatever they're selling to you. How's the customer service? Is the owner around? Is there any personal touches? What would you do? What would you have changed if you had that store, if that was your store? What would occur? Check out competitions' websites. What works? What really makes it, very easy for you to navigate the site? What makes it hard? What's hard to look at? What's very nice to look at? You have to do this. This is how you're going to make it. You take from the best, you try to make it better. You see what they're not doing well, and you make sure you absolutely don't do that. You do that, and you're doing this right here. Boom, 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 boom. You're only getting better. You're taking from the best, and you're not doing what they're doing, wrong. So you're setting yourself up for success. That's exactly what you need to do. That's not how many people approach it. Many people approach it. They come in, they say, okay, well, I have my idea of how this is going to work. That's a great idea. But is it going to work? Or are you already setting yourself up for failure because, maybe 9, 10, 20, 40 people have already came in with that same idea, tried it, and it didn't work out. But if you would have studied and maybe caught 2 or 3 scenarios to where, man, that's what I would have tried. And why did that not occur? And how did that not happen? And you know the story and you read up on why it didn't work and why it didn't happen. Maybe when you try it and you avoid the issues or the mistakes that they made, it will work. But only if you study the industry. Only if you, humble yourself enough to look back and say, hey, this has been going on way before I even wanted to get into it. Might need to humble myself a little bit and learn some things. Might need to be a student for a while. What can I learn? I know what I want to bring to the table, but how can I shine up what I want to bring to the table? How can I make this, consumer ready or industry ready by learning some things about what people before me have done wrong or what people are doing right now that's maybe not the best way to approach it. You can learn from other people's mistakes. Those mistakes are theirs, but you can also benefit from them, dropping the ball. Big companies drop the ball, small companies drop the ball, individuals drop the ball, mistakes occur. But those mistakes can be used for everybody, especially everybody in that industry. Hey, did you hear what such and such did? The competition did this. They, messed up here. We were going to try something like that, but what we're not going to do is that. So what worked in that scenario? Okay, well, yeah, the marketing plan was great, but the execution of the marketing plan, not so much. The product probably needed 6 to 12 more months of testing, but they just threw it on out there because they thought it was time to start making money. We're not going to do that. So, that's what can help you. Knowing your competition, knowing your history of your industry. Don't come in thinking that you're a master. Be a student, learn, be humble. If you're not a humble person, that's okay. I'm not going to say that, you should be a humble person, but you can humble yourself temporarily to learn and execute to annihilate the competition, which is really what you want to do, right? Absolutely. I understand that. Number two. Number two is learn from the greats. So I'm in the music industry. So I, listen to a lot of older music. I listen to current music. I listen to a lot of interviews from current artists, older artists, executives, former executives, aspiring executives. I even listen to their stuff because, they're going to be, my peers for the next, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So I would like to know what they're thinking about because they're pretty much in the position that I'm in. We're all pretty much aspiring to get better. The people who have been there, done that, that's where you get your history. That's where you get your, hey, man, I made this mistake and, I wish I wouldn't have did that. Or, I wasn't really close with, my employees in the company. And when things got hard, it was really hard to keep them because I couldn't really speak to them on a person-to-person level because I had no idea who they were. Oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm definitely going to keep my team a little closer just in case, rocky times happen. I don't want to just lose everybody and then can't even talk to them or don't know their direct phone numbers, things like that. Thank you. I'm glad I watched this interview. Or, a lot of entertainers or, you've heard the sob stories about, oh, I signed this terrible deal and don't sign anything without a lawyer. I mean, I've been hearing these stories since I was 11, 12, and it's just like, okay, how long are we going to hear the people say, don't sign anything without a lawyer? How long are we going to say, these people are, signing us into really, really, really bad contracts and, we don't make a lot of money and they're getting percentages off of everything we sell. I've been hearing this a very long time. But you know what they did not do? They didn't learn from the greats. Because the greats told us. Hey, these bad contracts, they happen. Don't rush into anything. Get you a lawyer. Be patient. Because, it's a long game. You're not going to make a record on Tuesday and it's playing on the radio on Friday and you're performing in front of a, 30,000, 50,000 person crowd on Sunday. That's not how it occurs. So why are we moving so fast? We need everything. We need to sign this deal. We need to sign this deal right now. Why? The greats have already suffered for us. They've already experienced the good, the bad, the ugly. And they're telling us about it. Like it's, what year we are in. We're living the future. Oh, I love this artist, such and such and such and such. And you can go on your phone or go on your computer, type that artist's name in and find an interview or find their website or find, a vlog or something like that and learn from them immediately. You don't have to hope to run into them, hope to build a relationship with them. You don't need to do any of that anymore. Like, I don't have access to call Jay-Z personally, but I have access to the internet to watch any of the 40 to 50 to 100 interviews he's done over his career. And what's the difference, really? I mean, we're not going to talk for that many hours, even if we knew each other. But I can go back and rewatch him in the 90s and look at what he was saying from 2000 to 2010 in the aughts, and look at how he was talking from 2011 to 2020, and see the maturation and see the business moves and, good and bad, cutthroat or not cutthroat, whatever those moves were, and say, okay, well, all right, I see what that did for him. I see what that did for the people who he used to be with. I see what that did to some other people who had to fall to the wayside. I understand because I've seen him grow. I know where he came from because I came from the same place. And I know what his thought process is because he shares it in his music, he shares it in his interviews, he shares it as much as he can possibly share it. So I'm learning. No, we don't have a personal relationship, but I'm learning just as much as if we did. Now, it's some, nuggets or something that maybe he can shoot to me if we did know each other. But the majority of stuff, comes out in casual conversation. So if you hear somebody talking in an interview, listen to what they're saying. It's really hard to hold in good information. There's a lot of people that sell it, and it may or may not be good because it's behind a paywall, and I'm not about to find out when there's so much good free information out there that I can, actually learn from. Now, if somebody's giving away good free information, then I know that their paid for information is A1. But if I don't know a person and they're giving out paid, information, how do I know that this is not better than, the free stuff? Like, I don't know that, right? It could be worse. It could be the same exact information. I'm not doing that. I'd rather learn from the greats. So that's what you should do. Who's great in your industry? Are you a baker? Are you a cook or chef? Are you a real estate investor? Do you fix and flip? Who's great at fixing and flipping? Who's great at selling houses? I wanna sell cars. I like to sell cars. Okay, cool. Who's great at selling cars? Who has the most, dealerships in your state? Find them. Find their name. Look at their interviews. Look at their maturation. What they start with. How they start. Did they have a silver spoon? Did they start from scratch? What was it? Did they work for a big company, get treated, or mistreated, and leave and start their own? That happened a lot. Just to prove them wrong, I'm you know what? Okay, I'll show them. It happens all the time. But you need to know those stories because you can, be in those stories. That can be you. You can be the next story for the next person that's going to do something great or even greater. Learn from the greats. What are they here for? Not to just be all that. Learn something. Number three is create a team of your own. It's super important to have your own team. I'm not saying that you need 25, 30, 40 people on your team, but if you're a team of one, that's fine. You're just beginning. But be self-sufficient. That team of one needs to be enough for what you're doing at the point in time, in your journey. And then when you go out to 2 and 3, that 2 and 3 needs to be enough to where if, everybody outside is mad at you or cutting you off or attempting to blackball or whatever they're trying to do, you guys are self-sufficient to where you can still put the product out, you can still market the product, you can still sell the product. Because if you're dependent on someone that's outside of your team, then you're at the mercy of someone that is even not, they're not out there for the best interest of you or your company, but you're putting all your trust and all your dependency on them. Like, why? Why give them that power? They don't care if you succeed or fail. So you're just hoping for them to just throw you a bone or hoping for them to understand that this month you don't have the same budget you had last month, and can we still do the same deal and I pay extra next month? No. No. Why? So now what do? You go back to your team and you say, hey, we need to know how to do this. We need to know how to do this. What can we do to make ourselves experts? What can we do to make ourselves as independent as possible with the goal of being completely independent outside of, actual paying customers? But everything else, everything that leads up to that. Manufacturing, packaging, marketing, customer service, all of that needs to be, you have to be able to do it yourself. Because things change like that. Companies can go like that. Manufacturing businesses are up running one day and then 2 days later they're out of business, closed. So you better have either backups or know that you can do it yourself, or at least hold it down until you find a good backup or replacement. Have your own team. In music, it makes total sense. In music, it's the only sense, because if you look at any of the stars, a lot of the top rappers, they use the same producers, right? They're producers. And, if the producers are lucky enough to get a name out there, then they'll, be able to go around and work with other people. But normally when a rapper is coming up, they don't have any money, right? So they find a producer, they latch on with that producer, and they get bigger together. That's happened plenty of times in the 80s, the 90s, the aughts, the 10s, and now the 20s. That's what is happening. You get your own band together. If you don't play in a band, you find you a producer, you find you a mixer, you find you a person that has a studio, or you save up enough money to build a studio. And this is what you need to do. You need to be self-sufficient, because if no one can stop you from producing what it is your product, is, then no one can stop you. No one can hinder you. You give yourself a level of power that a lot of people just refuse to give themselves or don't think to give themselves. And it's not a good idea. So, number 3, again, is to build your own team. Number 4. Number 4 is it's who you know. So, in the beginning, you probably don't know anyone. Or you may know one person that's in the industry that you want to be in. Okay, so how is this going to help me? It's who I know. And if I'm just starting, I don't really know anybody. I mean, I'm learning from the greats, and I'm watching, interviews, I'm studying the past. Like, I know of these people, but I don't know them. So if it's who you know, then I'm stuck. Now what? Well, you know you. You know you. Yes, you do. And what are you going to do with that? Okay, well, I know me. I know that I'm hardworking. I know that I've studied the past. I know that I know this industry in and out. I know that I've studied the greats. I know what they did wrong. I know what they did correct. You know what I mean? I have a team of my own, I know them. Okay, well, you're setting yourself up for, a good situation. That's a really good situation. Now, if you can reach out to somebody that's in the industry for help, or somebody that's, in a helpful industry, like, maybe a manufacturer, if you're building something or producing something, or maybe someone who is going to cut the cost of your deliveries because they have a small delivery business, and locally they can, get your stuff out there faster than the big boys. Okay, cool. Well, that who actually helped you, right? That's making your delivery more efficient, giving you more customers, right? Because they get their stuff faster. Oh, if you order from them, I know you can get it next day because they're here, in such and such city. And then everybody's making money, right? It's because of who you know. So you know yourself, the local delivery. Okay, cool. Well, who else do you know? If that's it, then what do you need to do? You need to meet more people, right? Of course you need to meet more people. So where are you going to market your business? I know, social media, I get it. But what else? Because social media is the world, right? You're marketing to the world. Maybe your product, you don't have that type of reach. You need to focus on local, right? So, who knows you and who you know? So, who you know is your people, your team, and a local delivery or a local hookup somewhere to where it's helping your business out, right? Okay, cool. Now you're going to different fairs, you're going to different business meetings. You can go to the local museum in your neighborhood because those museums usually have entrepreneur meetups or meetings and stuff like that. You can look at real popular restaurants and see what kind of things that they're having because they'll have it to where you can go and pass out business cards and talk to other entrepreneurs. And that's how you meet more people and you know more people. There's no way around it. I understand that a lot of people are introverts and they don't want to deal with people, and that's where it comes to having your own team and being self-sufficient to where you don't need to meet that many people, but you do need to meet people, especially in the beginning, because nobody knows you. Nobody. And that's where we're going to get to number 5. It's who knows you. And in the beginning, it's nobody. And you can't have a business with nobody knowing who you are. Right? So as you're meeting people and you're getting to know people, people are getting to know you. As you're marketing, people are more familiar with your logo and what you offer because they see it over and over and over again, right? It's absolutely who knows you when it comes to making money. Who you know can give you an opportunity to save some money, maybe, get thrown a bone and, make a little bit of money. But when people know you, people are coming to you. You're making money because you're the person that people are seeking out. When it's people that you're going to them. They're saying yes or no. People coming to you, you're saying yes or no. I really, really preference people knowing who I am because it gives you the opportunity to say yes or no. You're kind of in control. The ball's in your court when you're the known person. It's not even like an ego thing. It's more of a, I would say more of a dependent versus independent thing. And if I can afford to say, no, I'm not going to sell to this person, and no, I'm not going to sell to that person, as opposed to, hey, do you want to buy my product? And hey, do you want to buy my product? And just waiting for a yes. That I think that I much rather would be the person to say, hey, yes, I'm going to sell to you. Yes, I'm going to sell to you, as opposed to attempting to sell to anybody because no one knows you. You're going to the people that you need, to make a sell. Hey, I need this. I need. Hey, why don't you try this? Okay, well, I'm not going to be very easily, convinced that I should even buy from you. Because you're almost begging. Like, I don't know who you are, and you're trying to sell me something. I'm not going to pay full price. I don't know who you are. I'm not paying full price, and you seem like you're begging. So no, I'm not going to do it. As opposed to, hey, this person sells some great such and such and such and such. I'm going to go to them. It's not even a question as if I'm, going to sell to them. They're coming to me. Great. But they're also paying full price because you know me. You know the product. You know that you're not wasting your money. There's no, introduction needed. And I know that that's hard. A bunch of introductions. Hey, this is me. This is what I do. A whole bunch of explaining. You're like a constant commercial. And then you go from that to who knows you, and it's like, okay, well, everybody knows me now. Everybody's tasted my product. Everybody's ate my food. Everybody knows where the restaurant is. Everybody knows, my music. They've heard my music. They like my beats. They've heard my songs. They saw me perform. They saw the videos. That's a huge, twist or turn in the dynamic of being a small business. From constantly introducing yourself, which, you never really stop, but, the more and more people know you, the less and less it's needed. The introduction is shorter. It's more of a, hey, you remember. Yeah, oh, there you go. That's us. Because they already know you. It's a huge burden lifted off us, especially an introverted entrepreneur. But just constantly trying to, put yourself out there in the beginning, it's hard. No one knows you. Most people are not listening. But as you keep on going, more and more people know you, and the word spreads, and it's not as necessary to do so. Or you can just point people in the right direction. Hey, go to the website. I'm just saying, hey, I'm such and such. I'm not going to take up most of your time. This is what we do. This is the website. Here's my card. That's it. Because, eventually your service or product will speak for itself. Eventually, everybody in town will know your company, and then everybody in the country, and then hopefully everybody in the world. And that's how you build. That's how you succeed in your chosen industry. It sounds very simple. I try to make them sound really simple, but there's work into it. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of, I don't want to do it today, but I have to do it. There's a lot of, no one seems to be trying to help me right now. It's all true. I'm not going to try to, hide that or sugarcoat it. It's hard. It's going to be hard. Everything worth doing is hard. So let's get over that and understand that I'm going to take these 5 things and I'm going to prepare myself to be successful in my chosen industry, because that's what I chose to do. I either chose to start my own company. I chose to, go and climb the corporate ladder. I chose to go into sales, and work for a company and sell their product. Fine, whatever it is, study, learn, try to build your own team to, be able to do it yourself, be self-sufficient. Even if you're in the corporate world, like, hey, I have, colleagues that I go to, we drink after, after work, and we just talk about things. That could be your team. If you're in a sales, team, you keep, top 5 or something, top 3 in sales. Hey, man, who's number 1 and 2? Should meet with them, talk to them, see how you guys can, either go even higher or leave and start your own and make some real money. I always kind of get back to entrepreneurship, because that's, that's how you make the money. I mean, there's no way around it. Yes, you can make a lot of money in the corporate world if you, dedicate enough years of your life and, schmooze to the right people. You can make good money. I know that. But the money feels much better as an entrepreneur, even if it's less. And that's, you'll experience that if you haven't experienced it yet. But yeah, Drills Talk, episode 10. These are the top 5 ways, top 5 methods of making it in your chosen industry. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. It's drills.com. Check this out, these drills.